welcome back to Presley Mania. Thank you for tuning in to this episode today. I really appreciate it. If you have not done so and you enjoy the content, please be sure and hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. It would really mean a lot to me and it would help me greatly on the YouTube algorithms and so other people can see my show. So today we are going to delve off the beaten path a little bit. We're going to talk about the Graceland scammer. That's right, the Graceland scammer. Lisa Janine Finley, Tuesday of this week, pled guilty to one count of wire fraud for falsely claiming Lisa Marie Presley defaulted on a loan and used the Graceland mansion as collateral. Finley, 53, is a resident of Kimberly, Missouri, and faces up to 20 years in prison for creating a fake company, forging financial documents, and making false court filings seeking to gain possession of Elvis Presley's former Graceland mansion home in Memphis, the Department of Justice announced Tuesday. Okay, well, we very well remember when all of this happened. I had also seen that she probably would only have to serve about 5 years and then could get parole. I saw that from another news source. I pulled most of my information from UPI, and it was an article written by Mike Hewer. We very well remember when the Judge Jenkins, ruled that the documents were fake and advised Riley Keough to pursue criminal charges against the offending party. So we remember all of that. Well, I happen to have here, and I've been sitting on it for quite some time, the FBI, the guy who was investigating her, the FBI informant. I have all of the information here. And, you know, things have been kind of crazy with all of the suits going on between Priscilla and Bridget and Elvis Presley Enterprises and Bridget Cruz. So I thought we would just take a step back and let's focus on Graceland today. And let's talk about this suit and something different. Let's get our mind going down a different beaten path. First of all, it boggles my mind to think that this woman came up with this scheme all on her own. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think this was all her idea, or do you think she had help? According to what I have read in the FBI informant's report, he says that she pretended to be this Kurt Nasani, however you want to say it, that she came up with all of this on her own. Well, it seems to me like a really far-fetched claim, but regardless, if she did all this all by herself, she caused one big hullabaloo, didn't she? I mean, my goodness gracious. The Elvis fans were like, what? Graceland is going to be put up for auction. Well, this did not work out well for her at all. So let's talk about and read a little bit about what the FBI agent had to say. This may very well take me a couple of shows to get through all of it. If I can make it through today in one, then I will try. But I thought you guys might like to have a little bit of information on this Lisa Janine Finley and broaden our horizons a little bit and talk about her and what in the world. This is, to me, this is like craziness. I cannot imagine one single person being bold enough or brave enough to think that she could try to put Graceland, the second most visited home in the United States of America, on the auction block. I mean, really? Think about that. Man, That took some guts or some stupidity, whichever you think it is, maybe a little bit of both, but I can just, it's like I said, it's absolutely mind blowing. So, this was filed, this report by the FBI agent was filed in the United States District Court for the Western District of Tennessee in the Western Division, and it says affidavit in support of an application for an arrest warrant. I, Christopher Townsend, being first duly sworn, hereby depose and state as follows. Introduction and agent background. I am a special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, and have been so employed since September of 2016. I am currently assigned to the FBI field office in Memphis, Tennessee. During the course of my employment with the FBI, I have been assigned to investigate white-collar crime cases, including corporate fraud, mortgage fraud, wire fraud, mail fraud, healthcare fraud, and money laundering cases. I have participated in numerous investigations in the service of arrest and search warrants and the interviews of suspects, witnesses, and other persons having knowledge of the violations of law relating to those violations which fall within the scope of the FBI's jurisdiction. Okay, so he's just setting out here his background so they know that he's who he claims to be and talks about what all he has done in his career. Okay, let's talk about item number 2. He said, I make this affidavit under Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 4 in support of a criminal complaint and seek the issuance of an arrest and seizure warrant for Lisa Janine Finley. And then he lists her aliases. Also known as Lisa Holden, Lisa Howell, Gregory Nasani, Kurt Nasani, Lisa Janine Sullins, and Carolyn Williams. And he lists for violations of, and he lists, and it's basically, he lists the numbers here, but it's basically for mail fraud and aggravated identity theft. Okay. Well, when all of this happened and I went back and I looked up this woman, she has an arrest record that's a mile long. She has served time in prison, and so I guess she did not learn her lesson very well, that she turned around and did something like this. Like I said, I don't understand the level that someone would sink to get money and think that they could get away with it where Graceland is concerned. I mean, oh my gosh, they have got, you're talking about the Presleys and Elvis Presley Enterprises. They have lawyers and all kinds of folks that are going to jump to their defense and help them. And who wants to see Graceland go on the auction block? I don't know anybody who would want to see that. So what's the end game here? Was it all money or was it something else? I don't know. Anyway, he goes on to say, lists a few more things about the facts in his affidavit. So we're going to skip down to summary of probable cause. So we're going to give you a little background here on this woman and what she did. Using a series of aliases, email addresses, and fake documents, Finley engaged in a scheme to defraud, not defend. Oh my gosh, she wasn't defending them, was she? To defraud Elvis Presley's family for millions of dollars by threatening to foreclose on the Graceland estate owned by Mr. Presley's family and auction Graceland to the highest bidder as part of a fraudulent non-judicial sale she scheduled for May 23rd, 2024. As part of this scheme to defraud, Finley concealed and disguised from her victims her identity, the existence of the scheme to defraud, and her involvement in the scheme by using aliases including Gregory Nasani, Kurt Nasani, and Carolyn Williams, and email addresses including and it lists all the different ones. There was one for Carolyn Williams, one for Gregory Nasani, one for Nasani Investments. I bet y'all remember all of that, because everybody was trying to figure out back then, who is this Nasani Investments? Did Lisa Marie really take out a loan and use Graceland as collateral? I mean, people were like, well, we know that she was having financial issues, but Lisa Marie did not do that. She wouldn't do that. And especially to go to some old lender, some that has no credible background. No, Lisa was much smarter than that. Okay, so let's go on to number B. It says Finley used these aliases and email addresses to create the false and fraudulent impression that Nasani Investments and Private Lending LLC, also known as NIPL LLC, Nasani Investments, was a real company engaged in the business of making personal loans. So she tried to make it appear like they were real, but they weren't well known at all. And again, why would Lisa Marie do that? Why not go to a financial institution that has, backing by people, by the government or whatever, FDIC, whatever? Why not go to somebody that was actual credible? And can you believe that she would do something like this without advice from her financial advisors? No. Okay. Finley falsely and fraudulently represented to attorneys for DRK, which is Danielle Riley Keough, Mr. Presley's granddaughter, that before her death, LMP, Lisa Marie Presley, Mr. Presley's daughter, and DRK's mother had borrowed $3.8 million from Nasani Investments in 2018, pledged Graceland as collateral for the loan, and defaulted on the loan. Finley used, without lawful authority, Lisa Marie Presley's name and signature, as well as the names, signatures, and notary seals of other real persons, to create fake loan documents purporting to memorialize Lisa Marie Presley's 2018 agreement to borrow $3.8 million from Nasani Investments and pledged Graceland as collateral for the loan, including a fake promissory note and deed of trust. Well, I remember looking at those, and the whole thing, she wasn't very smart in how she handled all of this, because it all looked so faked, and like none of it even made sense. None of it was cohesive and went together correctly. It was like she was just taking things off the internet and plugging it in, like, let's find a fake promissory note. Let's find a promissory note and let's copy and paste her signature on here. Let's do all those things. And she ended up getting caught. So Finley used fake loan documents, that's what I just said, as part of a false and fraudulent creditor's claim filed on behalf of Nasani Investments in the Superior Court of California County of Los Angeles in connection with the administration of Lisa Marie Presley's estate. Finley also filed other fake documents in support of Nasani Investments' false and fraudulent creditor's claim, including fake bank records and mailing labels. Finley proposed to Riley Keough's attorneys, without disclosing that the creditor's claim was false and fraudulent, that she would be agreeable to settling the claim for $2.85 million, which represented 75% of the amount that Finley falsely and fraudulently claimed that Lisa Marie Presley had borrowed. So, you know what? We'll just drop all this and just give me almost $3 million, and I'll just go on my merry way and we'll pretend this never happened. Yeah, right. Finley submitted the fake loan documents to the Shelby County Registrar's Office in Memphis, Tennessee, to record fraudulently the fake deed of trust and facilitate the fraudulent sale of Graceland. Finley published in the Commercial Appeal, one of Memphis, Tennessee's daily newspapers, a fraudulent notice of foreclosure sale that falsely and fraudulently represented to the public that Lisa Marie Presley had borrowed $3.8 million from Nasani Investments in 2018, pledged Graceland as collateral for the loan, and defaulted on the loan. The false and fraudulent notice of foreclosure sale also represented to the public that Graceland would be sold to the highest bidder in an auction to be held on May 23rd, 2024. Well, if this would have gone off, she would have walked away with a whole lot more than $3.8 million. But again, the stupidity. How could anyone think this would have ever fly is beyond me. So after Riley Keough filed a lawsuit in the Shelby County Chancery Court in Memphis, Tennessee, to stop the fraudulent sale of Graceland, Finley submitted to the Shelby County Chancery Court filings and documents that contained materially false and fraudulent representations. After Finley's scheme attracted global media attention, you think, Finley made false and fraudulent representations to Riley Keough's attorneys, the Shelby County Chancery Court, and the press, creating the false and fraudulent impression that the person responsible for the scheme was a Nigerian identity thief located in Nigeria. Okay, so that's some of the background on that. He goes on to state probable cause. Let's go into the scheme to defraud. Okay, let's talk about that. It said Finley created false creditors' claim and sent to attorneys for Danielle Riley Keough based on my review of records provided by Microsoft on or about July 14, 2023. The email address Nasani Investments LLC at Outlook.com was created. Based on the investigation to date, including my review of records provided by Microsoft on or about July 14, 2023, an individual purporting to be Kurt Nasani, Chief Lending Officer for Nasani Investments and Private Lending LLC, or they also went by NIPL, sent an email to Danielle Riley Keough's attorneys using this newly created Outlook email address. Well, that's pretty dumb. So they create a brand new email address. I mean, if you look deep enough, you're going to know that a company wouldn't just open up an email address, a brand new one, and then send something like that. It would have to have been established, right? Okay. The individual falsely claimed that Lisa had taken a collateral loan with Nasani Investments and defaulted on her debts before her death. The individual threatened to foreclose on the property that had been used as collateral if Riley Keough did not respond within 10 days. And then, of course, Riley's attorneys asked for a lot more information on the loan. And Riley, remember, always kept saying, my mother did not do this. My mother did not do this. She did not take this out. She knew. She absolutely knew. Based on my review of documents obtained during the investigation, as well as records from the United States Postal Service on or about July 28, 2023, a package containing a creditor's claim and supporting documentation was mailed from a U.S. post office in Kimberling City, Missouri, to Lisa Marie Presley's business manager in Woodland Hills, California. The purported creditor's claim was captioned for filing in the California Superior Court in connection with the administration of Lisa Marie Presley's estate, and the creditor's claim listed NIPL LLC as bank number 1 as the claimant. Okay? And in the portion of the purported creditor's claim that required the purported claimant to list the facts supporting the claim, boy, this is a lot of legal jargon. The purported claimant stated Lisa Marie Presley, again, had borrowed $3.8 million from Nasani Investments in 2018, and that she pledged, I'm going to paraphrase here, pledged Graceland for a loan and then she pledged Graceland as collateral for the loan, and then she turned around and defaulted on it. So they're claiming that gave them the right to demand payment, and if not made, they would put Graceland up for auction. Okay. And it goes on. It just continues saying that the purported creditor's claim was supposedly signed by Gregory Nassani, who had his title listed as the lender, and this was all done in the state of California. And says numerous documents were submitted as supporting documentation for the creditor's claim, including, among other documents, and this is what we talked about a minute ago, a promissory note, and they claim that Lisa signed it in person. But remember when they went and interviewed the notary public? She said, I have never authorized anything, notarized nothing for Lisa Marie Presley. So I've never met Lisa Marie Presley. I would have no idea what her signature even looked like, And so, no, this was false. So they took, she obviously took somebody's notary seal, like she had to go online and find something that was notarized by this person, right? This is my thinking. Take her stamp, copy and paste it onto a document. I mean, wow. And think this was going to stand up and that she wouldn't be found out. I mean, no way. No way. So again, my question remains the same. Did she do this all on her own? I mean, you can tell it was sloppy and it was messy. But did she come up with this scheme all on her own? She's taken the fall for it. If there were more people involved, but this is all just, I mean, do we even have any reason to believe someone else could have been involved in it? I don't know. But thank goodness it was all stopped and that Riley did what she needed to do to protect Graceland. But again, I cannot even imagine what was going through this woman's mind to think this would, for 1 minute, fly. And why would she want to go back to prison? That's another thing. So what else? Another document was a deed of trust, which she's saying proved Graceland as, that Lisa gave Graceland as collateral, like she would ever do that. There are bank records from bank number 1, which was, we just read that, NIPL LLC, Nosany Investments. Oh my. Okay. 3 mailing labels which purported to document Nosany Investments' repeated attempts to provide notice. So remember all those, we saw where they had sent letters and trying to get them to give them the money. All right. And then there was, like we went over a while ago, talks about the claim where they proposed the settlement to settle for 75% of the amount she borrowed, which would have been $2,850,000. He goes on to say that based on the investigation to date, I respectfully submit that there is probable cause to believe that Nosany Investments' purported creditor's claim is fraudulent and was part of a scheme to defraud the Presley family, among others, and fraudulently obtain millions of dollars and the Presley family's ownership interest in Graceland. And then he goes on to say that he talks about that Lisa Marie's signature was a forgery, talks about the bank records, how all of that was faked. And then this Nosany Investments was located supposedly in Florida. He says, based on my review of records from the Florida Department of State, Nasani Investments was not registered as a corporate entity in Florida until May 21st, 2024, which was the day before Nasani Investments was required to respond to an action brought by Riley in Shelby County Chancery Court to block the sale of Graceland, which is described in greater detail below. Okay, so they're going to show the company as registered after Lisa Marie took out the loan. Okay, that's not smart either. I mean, all they're doing is just causing a trail to get caught. And, all right, it talks about that the mailing labels were also fraudulent. Based on the investigation date, including my review of records from USPS, TextNow, T-Mobile, Google, and Bank Number 2, there is probable cause to believe that Finley created or caused to be created the false creditors' claims. There is also probable cause to believe that Finley sent and filed or caused to be sent and filed the false creditors' claims. The July 28, 2023 creditors' claim used as Nasani Investments' business address, the U.S. Post Office located near Finley's home and at which Finley had rented a P.O. box, namely P.O. Box 1015 in Hollister, Missouri. That was P.O. Box number 1. The rental application was submitted in the name of Finley's alias Lisa Holden and lists a telephone number ending in 7570 as her telephone number. The July 28, 2023 creditor's claim was mailed from Finley's post office in and around Kimberling City, Missouri to Riley Keough. And the July 28, 2023 creditor's claim used as Nasani Investments business contact was a telephone number linked to Finley. During the relevant time, that telephone number was assigned by TextNow, a VoIP service provider, to a user with the email LJ Howell. That email is a combination of one of Finley's aliases, Lisa J. Howell, and her birth year, 1971. Google records show that LJ Howell 71 is linked via Google Pay to bank accounts in Finley's name and uses Finley's personal mobile ending 7570 as the recovery phone number for the account. T-Mobile records confirm that Lisa J. Holden, which is one of Finley's known aliases, is listed as the subscriber and pays for a telephone number ending 7570 and a telephone number ending 9453. Records obtained from the California Department of Motor Vehicles confirm that Finley, previously known as Holden, continued to use that name. Okay, we're going to stop right there and we'll pick back up here really soon and see if we can figure out some more information on this person and figure out what made her think that she could pull this scam off. So, many of you have asked how my husband is doing, so let me give you a quick update. He did chemo last week. He did very well, very few side effects. We start again next week with another 3-day regimen. So I appreciate all of your prayers, all of your support, all of the love that you have sent my way. It means the world to us, and we're going to get through this. So remember, everybody, you only get one shot at this life. So live each day to the fullest, because you never know what tomorrow is going to bring. So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.